few notes for the 30th of October, Saturday. Let's start off with pronunciation. Right, number one, plow, not flow, not poo, plow. Shoulder. Number three, account. And four is amount. Five is brochure or brochure. Depends where you are, who you happen to be speaking with. Brochure or brochure. Machine, mechanic, and chef. Most of the words were easy. Only perhaps number one, plow. Perhaps you've never heard of a plow before. Alright, perhaps you never heard of a brochure before. Alright, everything else you've heard of before, and most of it you got correct, yet you did not get full points. These are very easy things. Pronunciation, stress syllables, all these questions are very easy. You should be getting maximum points there, not minimum points. Right, please focus on this stuff. Don't lose marks for no reason. Alright, let's see the stress syllables. Getting answers by spelling. Why by spelling? Because it's a test. You can't open the dictionary and start checking. Right, so let's look at case number one. Depend, comic, publish, and campus. So let's just break these syllables down into the most easiest ones that come into our head. So depend. Right, you can just break it down into two. Comic, publish, and campus. I've already told you the way, and so I told you just in your tests. This is the question paper. Break it down and add all those stress syllable symbols. So now you know depend is the answer because it has the stress on the second syllable and the other ones have it on the first syllable. Alright, let's look at case number two. Experience, communicate, profitable, and compulsory. So experience, communicate, profitable, compulsory. Right, so all the words have it on number two except for number 7, profitable, which has it on number 1. Hence profitable is the answer. So these are easy parts of the paper. Please get maximum points here. Alright, part B, grammar and sentence construction. Number 1, the paddy fields are covered by water. Nothing can be covered by water. It's not a tarpaulin. Right, it's not a tarp. Paddy fields are covered with water. The paddy fields are underwater. That is also correct, but they are covered with water, not by water. Number 2, many people have complained about the smoke. Complain is a verb. Complaint is a noun. Hence, if you had written the sentence or if you had corrected the sentence as many people have complained about the smoke when you use a noun, that's alright. Complaints. Not many people have complained. Right, so it doesn't make any sense. So many people have complained about the smoke. Now we're using it as a verb. Now it's correct. So alright, number 3. It rained such heavily. You can't have such heavily. It rained so heavily that I could not go to the beach. Alright, so number 4, the hotel who I stayed. No, the hotel where I stayed. Hotel is not a person. And if you use that, then none of you got it right. The hotel that I stayed, not the hotel that I stayed. The hotel that I stayed in. The hotel where I stayed. Got it. Last year was very expensive, and the hotel that I stayed in last year was very expensive. Please focus on these. Please write these things down. If you don't write them down, you won't remember it. That's a guarantee. Alright, and number 6, I am not used to drive on the left in England. What's the meaning of that? I'm not used to drive. I'm not used to driving on the left side of the road in England, or I'm just not used to driving on the left in England, whatever. Not used to drive, used to driving. Alright, please focus and get it right the next time. Very good. Let's go on to part C. Okay, parts of speech. Okay, so The sentence was the internet has been, then you had a blank, developed and become part of everyday life, and the option was increase, and then somebody wrote down the internet has been increasing, developed. What's the meaning of this sentence? Has been increasing, developed. How many verbs are you going to put there? Which tense is it? It's not even a sentence. The internet has increased, developed. Again, the same mistake. The internet has increased, developed and become. No, the internet has increasingly developed. How has it developed? Increasingly. It's telling you something about developed. Right, do not put 3, 4, 5, 6 verbs. How many you feel like? Right. Number 2, the doctors have stressed the necessar. Somebody started writing Spanish in his English paper, the necessar of eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. Right, the doctors have stressed the necessity, not the necessar. I know you love Spanish, so do I, but we are doing English now. Let's first finish English. Right, part 2 of part C, changing sentence forms without changing the meaning. All right, so do not change the meaning. All right, Mary doesn't have enough time to visit her old friends. Remember, we have to change the sentence form, but we don't have to change the meaning. So somebody wrote, Mary wishes that she has enough time. No, not that she has. Mary does not have. What does Mary wish for? Or what does Mary wish? Mary wishes that. Always, like I said, formulate the question after you write down the answer. Formulate the question in your head and check your answer. Does it answer the question? No, it does not. Mary wishes that she had enough free time to visit her old friend. Now it answers the question, hence it is correct. Mary wishes that she has enough time. No, that is not correct. Okay, that's what I tell you all the time. You have to do English very naturally. You have to flow like water. You can't stop and think of a formula, or you can't stop and think of some formulae and then formulate your answer upon that. That's not going to work. Number 2, how much do you think it will cost? He said to me, or he asked me, whatever. So he asked me, from which language is this? He asked me, why do you have a colon there after that? It doesn't even make sense. Why would you put a colon after that? That's not the way you use colons in English. He asked me, how much do you think it will cost? Really, this is the level of mids class, I will put you in the juniors batch. They are better than you. He asked me how much I thought it would cost. That is the answer. But we've done all this stuff long time ago, 1,000,000 times over. Right, number 3, my uncle. You don't write your stuff down, that's why you're making such elementary mistakes. My uncle has just given me a new bicycle. You got it right, but you forgot to use the word just. Remember, this is a test. Do not miss out the important words. I have just been given. Not I have been given. I know that is correct. You are missing out just. Some strict examiner will deduct points. I have just been given a new bicycle by my uncle. All right. I haven't seen her for 15 years ago. This was easy, but you didn't get it right. The last time I saw her was 15 years ago. That's it. What is there not to understand in that? All right, please write it down. Okay, let's go on to the final parts of speech. So how do you get all these words? Increase is the noun, increase is the verb as well. Increased and increasingly. The internet has increasingly developed and it become part of our everyday life, or whatever the life was. All right, number 2, necessity, necessary, necessarily. So I said, like I said, it is a necessity because it is necessary, and necessarily. All right, and then I showed you some essentials and some necessaries. Okay, that is a noun. Why have I not put this here? Because they are not derived. They are related, yes. They are similar, yes. They are not the derivation of each other. Perhaps they have even been derived from there, but now I cannot put it next to that. All right, I already explained all that stuff to you. Again, next, number 4, for fertilization. Make something fertile and fertilize. verb. Fertilizer, noun. Right, fertilization and fertilizer. What does a fertilizer do? Right, the fertilizer fertilizes the land or the soil or whatever. But they are not, I cannot put them in the same row over here. I cannot do that because they are two different things. So that is very important when you construct sentences, how you use the parts of speech, how you use the nouns, the adjectives. All right. Number 6, fertility. That is a noun. Fertile or fertile is the adjective. All right. And last we have condition and conditional. That was easy. Even then somebody got it wrong. All right. So these are your notes. Write them down and watch the other batches videos and the other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Adios.